So, this is our discussion for today. Okay. So, freeform modeling tayo ngayon. Now, I think I'm gonna just spare you the lecture. Gusto niyo diretso na tayo, no? Diretso na lang tayo sa actual na discussion, no? There's really not a lot to discuss here, no? Actually, itong conform tools na to, old school na to eh. Wala na to. Tawag dito, legacy na to eh, no? So tanggalin ko na to sa 3ds Max, and then of course dito sa Blender, we have ganun din, conform tools. So add-on pa yan, hindi natin gagawin yan. Diretso sculpting tayo. And of course, yung proportional editing. Okay? So, sige, spare you the lecture na. Diretso na tayo sa actual na software, okay? So, freeform modeling, as the name suggests, no, it involves freeform movements sa ating mga models, no? So ano ba yung purpose nito, no? So magandang example na sa freeform modeling is of course yung sculpting, no? Now I don't really need to discuss what sculpting is, no? Kasi I think at some point you already heard of this, and yun nga, ginawa niyo na to sa isa sa mga subject niyo. Dapat, no? I think it was FS Draw 2 din dapat to, or was it FS Draw 1? I don't exactly remember, but you should have already gone into this, no? And yun nga, there's really not much to discuss what sculpting is. It's pretty self-explanatory what it already is. Now, ano ba ang benefits ng sculpting? Because as you can remember, guys, we partially discussed the differences between polymodeling and sculpting, no? Now, alam naman natin, polymodeling, you have more control, no, or more freedom when it comes to applying geometry sa mga object nyo. You have control on how much geometry you can apply. Whereas sculpting, you have no control whatsoever, no? Kasi each time that you apply sculpting to your model, while yes, dependent din siya sa current geometry ng model nyo, there are lots of tools or lots of brushes sa sculpting functions ng Blender and ng 3ds Max that adds more geometry, no? So, doon na pumapasok yung always na output ng sculpting is high poly, no? So, as we all know, kapag high poly ang object nyo, there's lots more data na kailangan ma-process ng ating software for it to function correctly or for it to function normally sa ating computer or sa ating render, no? So, sculpting na tayo. Now, before we actually dive into full-on sculpting, discuss natin yung mga unahin na muna natin yung mga original functions before sculpting was actually present, which is number 1, si freeform modeling, no? Si freeform modeling, si proportional editing. Now, si proportional editing, it's already a type of sculpting na rin, no? But unlike sculpting, hindi siya nag-a-add ng geometry. It only involves itself when it comes to freeform movement. So, ganito ang example ng proportional editing. So, I'm gonna start off with Blender. So, napakadali na kasi sa Blender. So, of course, if we want to see good results sa ating proportional editing, we have to add a lot of geometry, no? So, andito na ako sa edit mode. I'm gonna right-click, subdivide, and then I'm gonna press Shift-R to repeat all of that a bunch of times to get a very nice subdivided na cube already dito. Now, to enable proportional editing, it's available only in edit mode. It's also available in object mode, but it's not gonna function correctly. So, edit mode tayo, no? So, what we're gonna do is dito sa center natin, sa top center natin dito, we have this third option right here. And on the hover, sabi dito, proportional editing. We're just gonna click on this one, and then let's select a face. No, let's just select a face, and then let's try to move it. See what happens here. No, instead of the standard na kapag sinelect lang natin to and we start to move it, yung vertex lang yung gagalawin niya. But if we enable proportional editing, and then while the vertex is still selected, I'm gonna move it once again, may area of effect siyang nadadamay. No? Hindi lang yung vertex, but it's also a group of vertices. Nadadamay din siya kapag na-move ko na tong certain na vertex na to. That's what proportional editing does. No? It utilizes an area of effect, no, or set area sa ating selected na vertex or sa ating selected na selection, and then each time that you move it or you rotate it, yung area na yon damay siya palagi, no? Now, of course, itong area na to, and of course, yung shape ng ating proportional editing dito, we can also still alter this one, no? By simply going here, yung katabi ng proportional editing, right here, itong drop down, select natin yan. This is our fall off, really, no? So our fall off, this is basically our shape that we can choose from when it comes to proportional editing. Currently, right now, nandun siya smooth. Let's try to go for something na slightly sharper. Dito, gamitin natin itong sharp, no? And then let's select another one. No, let's select this one. Select that one and then move natin pataas. As you can see, no, if you try to look at like here, no, and then if you compare it with this fall off na icon ito, kapareho siya, no? So it's following along with this certain shape. So these are basically the templates already on how the fall off is designed. So there we go. Ganun siya. And then we can move it downwards then kung gusto natin. Inwards then if you want to. There we go. Marami ka ba kayong pwede magawa? This is already a good start na rin sa pag-refine ng mga models nyo. Let's say you want to create like sort of creases or cloth, no? So let's create a plane. Magawa tayo ng plane and let's try to make a makeshift na curtain, no? So I'm just going to make a plane. Gawa ko ng plane. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Rotate it y 90 degrees. There we go. And then I'm going to stretch this out. Parang curtains nga siya, di ba? And then I'm going to add a bunch of subdivisions. So I'm going to right-click, subdivide, Shift-R, 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 until meron akong ganyan. Now, again, balik ako sa edit mode. What I want here is, instead of vertex, siguro gamitin ko naman face to see just the difference, no? And then I'm going to try to make a curtain, no? Or parang cloth, no? Parang makeshift cloth already, no? So I'm basically going to select parts of it, no? So I'm going to select parts of it. So maybe this one. And then I'm going to try to move it to see how it would react, no? So there we go. As you can see already, nagre-react na siya based pa lang dun sa ilagay ko. Now I can make this as random as I want. I don't know. Now definitely this one needs to have a bit more control pa, no? This one, depende na yan sa inyo kung paano nyo siya i-design, no? Now, I'm not gonna say this one is the most perfect one, but yeah, this is already a good start when you're trying to make a cloth, no? Without simulating a cloth modifier. Now, pwede siguro babaan pa natin to. Ganyan, parang ano na siya. Medyo slightly sharp na, na cloth. So yan, parang nagkakaroon na tayo ng konting creases. And then, let's shade smooth. Tingnan natin kung ano itsura. There we go. It's a sad excuse of a cloth, but nagkakaroon tayo ng quote-unquote na wrinkles, no? So there we go. Yan, dyan pa lang, nag-start pala tayo ng almost makeshift sculpting na. But unlike sculpting, like I said, we didn't add any new geometry, no? It's still using the original geometry that I had, yung sobrang daming subdivided na na faces. It's still using that, no? Wala tayong nadagdag na geometry whatsoever. Maybe we can try to add a subdivision surface dito. Tingnan natin. Kaso baka magano to, mag-init. Oh, never mind. Ayan, nag-init na siya. Bigyan pa natin. 3. Well, yan na hanggang dyan na lang kaya ng pagka-shade smooth niya. So, tanggalin na natin to, baka mag-crash pa. So, there we go. That, I think, based on this pa lang, you can already tell na how to manipulate yung basic na natin. Basic geometry natin using proportional editing. Now, another common na pwede nyo gawin din dito is, of course, it's also a good start to character modeling, no? If you want to apply yung ganito pa lang. Now, do take note, ito, hindi ako nag-add ng subdivision. I'm still using yung normal na subdivision dito. So, I'm just going to try to move this one around here, no? So, I'm going to try to make a sort of quote-unquote head na, no? But, sad excuse na yan. Sad excuse of a head. But, you can already see yung parang korte ng dito, ng tao. So let's try to add a much more sharper na na nose. This one. Or maybe flat out natin yan. Maybe flat it out. Pwede nga to. Pwede natin gamitin vertex. Yan, pwedeng sign na yan ng nose. And then siguro, pwede natin pag-mix na rin yung pag-proportional editing natin. Let's try to fix this one to make a sort of profile, no? So, ang paggamit ng proportional editing, it's a mixture of both standard na 3D polymodeling natin and of course, proportional editing. Now, my suggestion when you're gonna be using proportional editing is do it only when it comes to refinements, no? Huwag nyo siyang i-apply mostly sa pagganito, no? Now, this one, pwede pa to when you're just trying to build a profile or a general shape of the of your model, and then you build it up from there after using polymodeling. I don't highly recommend fully doing your models by simply using proportional editing kasi hindi magiging masyadong accurate yung magiging result nyo depending also onto what you want, no? So, ganun lang siya, no? So, there we go. Meron na tayong sad excuse of a head, no? Isipin nyo na lang, helmet na yan. No? Isipin nyo parang helmet na lang. No? So, there we go. And then, siguro, lagyan pa natin ng konting design. You just simply play around na lang. So, pwede dito sa bandang likod. Lagyan natin yan. And this one. Oops. Then, siguro dito sa baba, pwedeng, pwedeng extrude na natin. Let's make a quote-unquote sad excuse of a neck. So, yan. Here we go. Meron tayong sad excuse of a neck. Now, of course, this is definitely not the right way to make your characters. If you want to have a more accurate na paggawa ng characters, definitely go with polymodeling. But this is already kapag yung bare bones lang naman na model na character, sure, pwede na to, no? So, pwede yan. Of course, make sure to turn off your proportional editing when you're gonna be scaling things kasi maapektuhan rin yon. And then, there we go. Lagyan natin to. Let's maybe select portion of this. Move natin inwards konti. Make sure naka-proportional editing tayo siguro. Para tingnan natin kung mas maganda itsura. Okay, there we go. Mas maganda tingnan. And then there we go. We already have a sort of bust. No? We already have a sort of bust na ng isang character. So there we go. Turn off natin proportional editing. Scale up natin, scale down natin yan. There we go. We have this. No? Meron na tayong sad na excuse na ganito. And then this one. Scale down ulit natin yan. Then scale down ulit. There we go. Meron na tayong bust. There we go. So, that is proportional editing. Now, any questions in regards to proportional editing? There's really not much to explain, really. Ganun lang talaga proportional editing. It's, like I said, it's almost a form of sculpting na rin, except the difference here between standard sculpting and sa proportional editing. Proportional editing, like I said, it doesn't add geometry. It only utilizes yung current geometry niya. And then, yun nga, it goes from there, no? So, there we go. That is proportional editing sa Blender. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions, guys? None so far? Okay. So, none so far. Let's move on to 3ds Max. Paano naman sa 3ds Max? Now, yes, of course, the 3ds Max, meron din naman siya. But comparing it to Blender, there's really not much to talk about, really, no? So aside of course from it having the exact same function, meron isang benefit si Blender kasi nawala si 3ds Max, which is yung templates natin dito ng fall off. Remember, ito, no? yung mga fall-off shapes natin dito. Wala si 3ds Max nun. We're gonna have to manually create those ourselves. So of course, we need sufficient enough geometry para dito. So let's go 10, 10, 10 for all of this, and then let's convert it to an editable poly. And then, once that happens, pwede na tayo mag-select ng kahit alin dito. So we can select our edge, we can select our edge, we can also select our polygons or yung face natin. And then, yung proportional editing natin, nandito siya sa soft selection. Yun ang tawag dito sa 3ds Max, soft selection. But in more technical terms, ang tawag talaga natin dyan is proportional editing. And as you can see here, ito na siya. This is our fall off, our current fall off. So, when I try to select one, now ito maganda naman dito, ang maganda naman dito, personally for me, is nakikita ko yung area of effect before we actually move it. So as you can see here, parang meron siyang heat map. So the red symbolizes yun yung pinaka-hot area niya, and yun na yung pinakamagiging tawag dito, pinakamagiging large area of effect niya. So as you can see here, there we go. It's producing the exact same result. Now, pwede rin natin ibahin tong fall off na to, which is yung area of effect, Yung gaano kalaki dito. Which is what I love about this one sa 3ds Max naman. Kasi kay Blender, wala siya nun, So, dito siya, Fall off siya, doon natin na-change yung area of effect. So, if I try to move this one, I notice nyo, full coverage. There we go. And then if I try to scale it up, ayan, lahat na apektuhan ng area na yon. Now, next is tong pinch. Yung pinch naman, itong nandito siya sa pinakagitna. Gaano ka-sharp, Or yung pinch, As you can see here. Notice nyo? There we go. Now, let's try to explore that here. Notice nyo yung shape. Notice nyo? It's giving the exact same result as dito. So, ang ginangyari dito, if I try to increase it as far as I can, nagiging much sharper siya and mas nagiging curved yung mga sides niya. But if I try to lower it down, ayan, nagiging smoother siya. Pero may limitations din siya. Pero kapag nilakihan pa natin yung negative number niya, nagiging inverse naman yung output ng pointiness niya. So as you can see here, we can make something like that, Parang siya, tip ng volcano or something, So ayan, there we go. We can make something like that. Pwede nyo gamitin din yan, yung parang sa mga sofa natin, yung sa mga cushion, yung parang mga embedded na, na parang butas doon. Yes, you can make something like those, So there we go. Ganun lang siya kadali. There we go. Ganun lang. That's how easy it is. Now next, itong bubble na to, ito naman yung outer na curvature niya, which is itong parts natin dito. Yun yung bubble. So we can try to edit that as well, So lots of options dito sa sa 3ds Max. Now despite nga, like I said, wala siyang any sort of template, which is yun nga, it's unfortunate, but I do like the freedom dito sa 3ds Max when it comes to the soft selection or yung proportional editing. Mas gusto kong ako mismo nagta-touch up sa fall off na gusto kong makuha sa aking mga proportional edits, So that's what I really like about this one. So that's proportional editing dito sa 3ds Max. Now, any questions regarding proportional editing? Any questions? Proportional editing in regards sa ating 3ds Max and Blender? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions? None. Okay. So let's move on to the next part. Now we can actually go straight na sa tawag dito, sa ating sculpting, But there's actually one more thing na pwede ko pang i-discuss, which is something that revolves around displacement maps, or paggawa ng mga mountains, so to speak, So I'm just going to find something dito sa internet. I'm going to share it din sa dito sa Discord, So you can save that and then i-apply natin yan sa isang plane, So let me just open Discord. Lagay ko lang siya sa Oops. Okay, saan na yun? All right. So I want you to download this map. Download nyo yan. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna be using that. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna create a basic landscape by simply using this one singular texture map, no? Or yung displacement map nga natin. So let's just create a plane and give it as many segments as we can, no? Siguro gawin natin 500 by 500, no? But guys, don't mimic what I'm just doing here, no? Kasi itong 500 by 500 na to, this might be too much for you, no? Depende na yan sa computer nyo. But for me, this is pretty much okay, no? So there we go. I already have my plane here. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to convert this one to an editable poly. Now, next, what we're going to do is we're going to add a displace modifier. No? So type in natin displacement. Oh, hanapin na lang natin. Hindi siya nagpapakita. Ito, displace. No? So displace. Do not select displace mesh. Select nyo lang displace. Should be singular lang. Singular word lang siya. Displace. Ito, this one. Displace. Select natin yon. And then we're gonna leave it at planar. Okay? Now next, dito sa ano natin, sa planar sa ano natin, bitmap natin, hanapin natin dito yung ano natin, yung ating displacement map. So select nyo tong none sa bitmap and then we're gonna find our our displacement map. Where did I put it? Saan na yun? Okay, displacement ito. So there we go. And then let's see if it's trying to, and then let's see if it affects it, no? So turn off lang natin yung F4 ko. Let's increase the strength. There we go, no? So we're already creating mountains using that said displacement map, no? Now itong displacement map na to, hindi lang siya limited to making mountains. Of course, you can create various things with this, no? So like let's say hanap ako ng mas magandang ano. Pwedeng example. Ito. Let's use this one, no? Yeah, let's use this one. So I'm going to use this Chanel na texture, no? So I'm going to showcase it once more. Remove ko naman tong bitmap ulit. Remove ko to. Itong 0 ulit yung strength. And then I'm going to open up yung Chanel na logo, no? So, punta ako sa downloads. Hanapin ko lang to. Ayun. And then there we go. And then if I try to increase my strength again, ayan, no? There we go. I got the Chanel logo already, no? So hindi lang siya limited into making certain na landscapes. You can make something like this as well. Now, paano na malalaman kung alin dito yung kung paano natin malalaman alin dito yung magiging race? Kasi as you can see here, no? Sa binigay ko na example, this white and black na natin, na displacement map natin, medyo magulo siyang tingnan, no? But it's actually not, no? Paano niyo malalaman dito kung alin dun yung i-erase ng software natin? Now, malalaman niyo yan based dito sa white, no? When it comes to displacement maps, gradient siya, no? It's always in a gradient. Kapag nasa shade ng white siya, so mga gray until whites, yun yung itataas ng ating software kapag in-increase natin yung strength. And the blacks, yun naman yung ibababa. Yun yung magre-retain lang siya as low as possible. Now, ang example ko dito, which is itong Chanel, no? As you can see here, no? Ito yung ginamit ko. So as you can see here, pure white tong logo ko. And yung the rest is just black, no? So bali, ang na-retain lang dito kapag ni-raise ko to, nare-retain lang yung Chanel na logo lang. Yun lang yung ni-raise up niya. The rest are nothing, no? Walang nangyayari whatsoever. And then, lagyan natin siguro ng open subdiv. Tingnan natin kung ano itsura. Open subdiv. There we go, no? Mas malinis ng tingnan. Then of course, do be careful sa pagdagdag ng iterations nyo. Or, mangyayari to. Ayan, naglalag na ako. Or nagiinit na rin yung CPU ko. So there we go. That's how unique displacement maps are. Now, that's for 3ds Max. Paano naman sa Blender, no? So, Dito natin dito sa Blender, no? Let's make a plane as well, no? So Shift A, let's add a plane. Let's maybe scale it up para madali natin makita. And then what we're gonna do next is we're going to give it lots of subdivisions. So press natin Tab to go into edit mode. And then select natin tong face, right-click, subdivide, and then Shift R to repeat lang yung subdivide natin. And then give it as many as we can. Ganyan. That should be enough. No? Now next, bibigyan natin siya ng displace. No? Bigyan natin siya ng displace na modifier. Now, there are actually two ways we can actually do that. Pwede yung displace modifier or we can use it as a material. It doesn't really matter which one you use. Pareho lang naman yung magiging effect, no? But let's just use a displace modifier, no? Kagaya dun sa 3ds Max. Naglalag ka pa rin ba? Naglalag pa rin. Teka. May ano yan. Sige. So, let's add a modifier. Let's find displacement modifier. Displace modifier. Where is it? Ito, displace. So, there we go. Now, dito sa displacement modifier natin, let's create a new one. So, let's create a texture. Sa texture natin dito, punta tayo dito. No? So, yung image or movie natin dito, once we created our texture dito, let's rename it siguro displacement demo. Displacement demo na lang. No? So, let's rename it that. And then, pupunta kayo tayo sa pinakababa. Itong texture properties. No? Select natin yan. And then, dito sa text displacement demo, automatic na siya yun na kagad ang nakalagay doon. Now, by default, yung type niya, nandito sa image or movie. But we can already select a bunch of textures already, no? Na pre-built kay Blender. Like, for example, we have clouds, we have blend, medyo ano pa yan. It's just a simple gradient, distorted noise, ayan, no? You can easily play around with this one. Now, to marble, maganda rin to. Now, next, Musgrave, lots of things that you can do, no? But let's use image or movie pa rin. Let's keep using that. And then open natin yung i-open natin yung displacement map na dinownload natin, no? Which is this one. Ayan, no? There we go. We already have it. Displace it already, no? Automatically na siyang na-displace kagad. So, there we go. We have our displacement modifier. And then if we want to decrease it, balik lang tayo sa modifier properties. And then let's just decrease yung strength, no? There we go. Ganun lang siya kadali. That's how easy it is. And then if we want to adjust it, yung mid-level natin, pwedeng i-zero out natin yan para bumalik siya dun sa pinakataas. And then there we go. And then let's say, gusto natin bigyan ng platform to. Bigyan natin ng platform. So, punta tayo dito sa ating, dito sa displace, apply natin yan. And then punta tayo sa edit mode. Select natin tong bottom face. Wag pala itong ito na lang. Yun ang sinelect. Never mind. So, select natin tong parts natin dito. Wait. Ito na lang. Yan. So, yan. Meron na tayong parang landscape, no? Parang diorama na landscape already. So, there we go. Napakadaling landscape dito sa Blender. And then, if we decided to palitan natin ulit siya, ganun, napakadali lang rin, no? Displacement demo natin, pwede natin palitan to, no? X lang natin yung current na yung current na displacement map natin dito sa texture properties. Alisin natin yan, open natin. Yung Chanel naman, no? Hanapin ko yung Chanel na logo, this one. There we go. Ganun lang siya kadali, no? And then, babaan ko pa, no? Yan, there we go. I just repeated the exact same thing. And then shade smooth. Ayan, malinis ng tingnan, di ba? So, there we go. That's how easy it is. Ganun lang siya kadali. Any questions? Any questions in regards to this? Any questions? In regards to displacement maps? Any questions? Wala. Okay, wala. So, balik na lang natin to because next naman, gagamitin na natin is sculpting, which is our final discussion for this meeting. No? So, balik natin tong mountain area natin dito and let's compare. No? Let's compare it with what we're going to do next. So, gamitin natin to. Then, balik natin sa shade flat. No? Medyo mas maganda tingnan kapag ganyan. And then, siguro z-axis na natin. Palitan natin yung this direction. Tingnan natin kung ano mas maganda. Z-axis na lang or normal. Basta normal. Z-axis na lang. Okay. Alright. Teka lang guys ha. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so balik tayo dito. Ano yung sabi ko? Right, sculpting, no? So, we have this, no? We have our displacement na, no? Let's rename this one to displaced environment, no? So, of course, ang maganda sa mga displaced na environment like this one, no? Of course, it's already proven. Maganda siyang tingnan, no? Kasi it's more of an artistic sense na lang yan. Even you can make this on your own, no? Now, of course, kapag tinatamad ka naman gumawa ng sarili mong displacement map or maghanap sa internet ng displacement map, we can rely on sculpting naman to make our landscape for us, no? So, let's create a new plane and then let's create that, no? Of course, turn off natin itong yung portion editing and then lagay natin siya dito. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing ulit, no? Dagdagan natin ng subdivision. So right click, subdivide, shift R multiple times para marami tayong subdivision. And okay na yan. So there we go. Now, to start sculpting sa Blender, it's actually super simple. Select natin yung object na may sufficient na geometry and then ibahin lang natin yung mode, no? Ibahin natin yung mode to sculpt mode. Or shortcut natin, kapag object to edit mode tayo, tab tayo, right? Kapag object to sculpt mode naman, control, tab, and then hover lang tayo dito sa sculpt mode. And then let go. There we go. We have our sculpting mode na. And then we can start sculpting all we want, no? And then we can play around with the radius kung gusto nyo malaki yung yung brush nyo, yung strength, gaano kalakas, intense, ayan, no? There we go. If you want to write some engraving, sure, why not, no? So you can write various characters. Yan. So next, and there we go. That's really how simple sculpting goes, really, no? So there we go. Pwede na kayong mag-start ng sculpting. Of course, like I said, no, I'm not gonna be fully teaching you how to sculpt. No, that's your own creative process na yan. Even I don't really sculpt that much, no. I don't sculpt that much. Kapag nag-i-sculpt ako, I always use a reference, no. I always use a base model para sa mga professional works ko. But really, kayo na bahala dyan. No? I'm not gonna teach you guys how to properly sculpt things, no? That's a completely different subject na yan. Sa ano nyo yan? 3D Scrig yon. If you want to learn how to sculpt in 3D, sure, go ahead. Elective yon, no? So, there we go. Kailangan nyo lang naman tapusin yung 3D mod and 3D Ani before you can enroll sa 3D Scrig. So, yan, there we go. So, you can do makeshift landscape like this one. You can play around with certain tools. You can make ravines. No, play around yun sa ano dito. Now, yung difference natin, may color coding tayo dito eh. So, yung blue ones, yun yung mga ano natin, yung mga traditional na sculpting tools natin, no? So, we have yung ano natin, yung pag-inflate natin. As you can see already here, no? Nag-i-inflate siya, no? And then, pwede tayong mag-slicing, yung parang bigay tayo ng engraving. And then, we have various clay na ano, na parang bumpy roads lang ba? Bumpy texture lang siya. And yun nga, it also adds more geometry dun sa natin, sa mismong object natin. And then clay strips also same lang rin naman yan, only this time parang lang siya. Strips lang siya ng clay. So there we go, you can make something like that. As you can see, nagdadagdag yung geometry natin, no? Naiiba siya, no? Now currently, manonotice nyo, parang ganoon lang naman siya, parang displacement lang rin siya. But really, guys, nadadagdagan ng geometry, no? You just don't see it just yet, no? But yeah, as you can see here, nadadagdagan siya ng geometry. So, we can make something like this. And then, siguro clay thumb. Yan, ito yung ang binibigay naman na texture nito parang yung sa thumb natin. But I don't really like this one a lot. So I hardly use it. Now, itong layer, I don't really recommend this one as well, no? Kasi mas maganda pang gamitin na lang yung clay strips for that one. And then inflate, as the name suggests, i-inflate siya ng ano, ng certain mass natin. So it adds more geometry, no? So yan, there we go. Next, blob. Almost the same lang rin naman siya as inflate, no? So yan. Now, ito naman, crease. It creates creases kapag gagawa kayo ng mga cloth. Ayan, as you can see here. As you can see right there. Pwede kayong magawa ng crease dyan. It's also good for making muscle strands, no? Yung mga muscle ng characters. Yan, there we go. We can make something like that. Now next, ito naman yung mga orange ones, no? Yung itong mga orange naman, ito na yung mga nag-i-smoothen ng surfaces, no? As you can see, by default, ito smooth, no? It smoothens out yung ano natin. Aside from also smoothing it out, no? Medyo nire-reduce niya konti yung polygons, no? At the cost of, yun nga, i-smoothen out niya yung itsura ng ating model. But etong pag-smoothen natin dito, rarely nyo rin siya magagamit, really. Mainly for finishing touches na to, eh. Itong smoothing. So, yan. Then next, flatten. As the name suggests, it flatten things out. Siguro, lakihan natin yung radius para makita nyo. Yan. It flatten things out dito sa part na to. So, yan. Naging flat na siya. Next, fill. It's almost the exact same lang rin naman as flatten. But aside from that, no, aside from it flatten things, yun yan, nag-fill up siya ng ano, panibagong geometry rin siya. And then next, ito naman, scrape. This one, it's barely usable din naman. It's almost exactly lang rin naman as tawag dito, not draw sharp, sa crease, no? Sa crease. Sabi, crease. Ito, it's almost exactly the same. The only difference between these two is actually barely noticeable sila, no? So, teka. Ito. Ayan. As you can see here. Now, yung difference lang natin dito, as you can see here, this one, I'm doing sa yung itong part na to, itong scrape, no? So, it's more like scooping, no? As parang sa creasing lang natin dito. Pero this time, it's just scooping it up, no? Scooping natin yung landfill natin dito. Parang gumagawa siya ng ravine ba? Paggawa ng mga ravine. There we go. Next, multi-plane scrape is just exactly the exact same lang rin naman yan sa scrape natin. It's just more more brush, more tag dito. May parang gitna lang siya dito sa ravine. As you can see here. And there we go. Now, ito naman, itong mga yellow na coded naman dito. Dito naman yung mga nagpo-pull, no? Yung nagpo-pull sa geometry natin. So as you can see here, ano ba to? This one is pinch. It's pinching things up. Tingnan natin. Nakasan natin yung strength para makita nyo. O dito. Saan ba pwedeng noticeable? Barely siya ma-notice, no? But, yeah, as in pinch, yung kasing kinukurot lang niya yung geometry natin and ipupull lang natin siya. Yan, di lang natin maano dito eh. But, yan, ito, grab. As the name suggests, mag-grab siya ng geometry. It's basically proportional editing inside sculpting, no? Elastic deform, ganun lang rin siya. Parang grab lang rin. But this time, it's more on for just lang siya. Refinements lang siya. No? If you want to grab things, you might want to use grab tool. But really, elastic deform, same lang rin naman siya. Pero mainly for touches lang siya. Now, thumb, yan. Pwede rin itong pose. Now, this one, itong pose, for characters na to, no? For characters na to. Now, hindi naman exactly, hindi naman exactly rigging siya. It's not going to really pose a lot of your characters. Lang siya, binibend lang niya yung mga certain parts as you can see right here, no? It's either gonna twist it or it's gonna bend certain things. So, it's just there if you want to use it. Nudge, parang lang to. Twisting lang nito or parang siya. Aside from twisting, parang nagbe-blur effect lang siya. Parang yung nagmi-mix, no? And then rotate, same lang rin siya as sa twist or sa pose pala. Slide relax. Now, this one is actually really useless din yung magagamit niya. Kasi itong slide relax, it's literally just smooth lang rin yun, no? Next, boundary. Again, barely usable din siya. Yung boundary yung ginagawa natin dito, it's mainly for sa mga hard edges na yan, sa gilid na yan, ayan, no? Sa mga edges, sa hard edges siya, binibigyan natin siya ng boundary. There we go. And then dito, so ayan, no? Notice yung sa edges lang siya nag-conform. Ayan. So, there we go. Now, ito naman cloth. Now, this one, I'm not in, mixed feelings ako dito eh. Kasi itong cloth na to, it's really nice, pero never ko siyang na get the hang of really, no? Medyo confused ako kung parang gamitin pa rin 'to. Basically, what cloth does, it gives you texture ng cloth, no? It's basically going to give you wrinkles na cloth, no? So, punta tayo sa object mode. Tingnan natin kung itsura sa shade smooth, no? Ayun, as you can see there, no? Parang cloth wrinkles siya. Yun ang maganda naman do'n. But for me personally, in terms of general use, when it comes to environment, never ko siyang nagamit really. Itong Simplify, dito sa Simplify na 'to, this one is more on ano lang, refinement lang rin naman sa ano, smoothing lang rin pero barely noticeable siya so you can hardly use it naman na. And then we have here mask and then yung mga other sets natin dito. This one, hindi nyo na magagamit to whatsoever. Extra stuff na lang to na never nyo na magagamit. Now, itong mask, you can use ano third-party brushes if you really want to. You can use it here. Pero rarely nyo magagamit yan. No? But yeah, there's the rest. No? So, that is sculpting. No? And basically, a quick rundown ng mga basic tools ng sculpting sa Blender. So there we go. Definitely, there's a clear difference between the two, no? If you want hyper-realistic na, no, if you want hyper-realistic na environment, definitely I would highly suggest go for displacement maps na lang. But if you want something your own, something you to fit your no, your natural theme or your natural aesthetic sa environment mo, of course, you might want to create your own environment na lang. Or maybe you can even create your own displacement map, no? Try to estimate how it would look, no, by simply just using yung black and white nga lang natin. This one right here, no? Remember, again, white symbolizes yung highest peak and then black yung pinaka lowest. So work with gradients really, no? Kapag nasa gray side na gaano siya, nasa mid-level lang siya, no? So as you can see right there, no? So maganda rin paglaruan nyo rin tong ano, displacement map. Try to make one of your own. And again, square format lang naman yan, no? So go nuts. Okay? So, any questions in regards to sculpting sa Blender before I move on to 3ds Max? Kasi yes, surprisingly, si 3ds Max meron. No, and okay, kala ko nag-crash na. Kala ko nag-crash. Okay. Any questions sa Blender? Any questions ba sa Blender? Sa sculpting? Any questions? Any questions sa Blender? None. All goods. Okay. Let's move on to 3ds Max, which is the final destination. No. So again, ano natin to? Palitan natin. Up. Wait, what did I do? No. Nag-Control Z ako. Kakrash ako. So yeah, be careful guys. No, I have a relatively powerful PC, no, so it's talagang it says a lot kay 3ds Max na kahit sobrang lakas na ng PC ko, ang lakas niya pa rin sa hardware, no. Ang lakas pa rin niyang maka-occupy ng CPU capacity sa computer niyo. So do be careful when you're gonna be adding subdivisions. Okay, so back to here. And siguro hindi ko na di-showcase yun kasi nakita nyo naman no. So again, like last time, kailangan nyo ng maraming ano dito. Kailangan nyo ng maraming subdivision, maraming geometry ang kailangan nyo. So, once you created your plane, basically your landscape, you're gonna convert it to an editable poly. Now, you're basically good to go. Now, by default, hindi ganito yung ano nyo, yung magiging ribbon nyo or yung toolbar nyo dito. No, this is not actually your toolbar. This is your toolbar. This part right here, where nakikita nyo itong mga brush, this is your ribbon. Now, kapag wala kayo nito, nakalagay siguro dito, get started or mga iba-iba kung ano-ano. Ang gagawin nyo lang, dito sa certain part natin dito or anywhere here, no, right-click tayo, right-click, ribbon configuration, and then reset ribbon to default. Select nyo lang yon and makukuha nyo na tong default na ribbon natin dito. And you're basically good to go. Okay? So, back to here. Turn off ko na yung edge faces. Okay. So, this is basically all the tools you have when it comes to sculpting. There's really not a lot here, no? So we have your basic push and basic pull natin, no? So to control this, no, kasi kapag dalawa yung options natin, may isang push, if I just press and hold left click, pinupush siya, no? And then if I press and hold control while holding left click, nagaano siya, pupull naman siya, pinupull niya pababa, no? So yan, there we go. Pinupull niya pababa yan. So there we go. That's how you do it, no? So there we go. There's really not much to do dito sa sculpting natin dito. I mean, it's available, but my highest recommendation when it comes to sculpting in 3ds Max, no, is definitely not environment, definitely not characters as well, but mainly for cloth, no? Magandang gamitin to sa cloth, napakadaling gawin, no? So as you can see already here, no, by simply using tong ano natin, yung cloth mod, yung mga basic tools natin dito, we can make easy wrinkles, no? And then next, relax, soften. Yung relax and soften, they're mainly the exact same thing. Now, yung relax natin, yun yung equivalent ng smooth natin, no? So, kapag relax, it's just smoothens things out, no? Kapag soften, it basically reduces yung ano natin, yung mga naka-push na amounts natin dito. As you can see here, no? Naka-soften to if I press and hold control. And then, pinch/spread, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Pinch, kinukurot lang niya, ginagawa siya ng mga crease. There we go. And then spread is just spreading things out. No? And then smudge, pretty self-explanatory as well. Ini-smudge lang niya yung current geometry natin. And then, basically, ganyan siya. No? It can turn into a mess or something like this. No? Next, the most fun one. Itong noise. Ito yung pinakapaborito ko dito. And it's the closest thing that you can get for building landscapes, no? So noise, you can make something like this. You can make such refined textures like this one, no? So yan. You're creating already a nice form of landscape already, no? A nice excuse of a landscape anyway. And then, pwede natin taasan yung strength kung gusto natin. Kung gusto nyo mas malakas pa, ayan, no? Pag nilakasan natin yung strength, mas pataas yung magiging full amount niya. So, there we go. But do be careful. Like I said, no, you're gonna get something of artifacts like that, yung mga black faces. And naturally, you don't want that, no? So, yeah, there we go. And then, exaggerate. Now, this one, it's almost in, parang kapareho lang siya sa noise, pero kailangan ni exaggerate ng substance before you can actually do something. As you can see here, no? There we go. Oops. Baan natin yung strength. Gawin natin 1 ulit. And there we go. It needs substance before it can do anything. No? So there we go. More refinements pa dito. And then, siguro relax natin yan para soften lang natin siguro konti. Konting relax, dahan-dahan. Siguro when you're gonna be using relax and soften to smoothen things out, medyo babaan nyo konti yung strength. Siguro at around 0.5, no? So, there we go. Basic refinements. Then konting noise dito. Yan. So yeah, there we go. We can have a sort of a sad excuse of an environment. No, that's really all there is to it when it comes to sculpting sa 3ds Max. No, there's really not a lot to do here when it comes to sculpting. If you really want sculpting to be a career for you, I would highly suggest going for Blender instead. Or kung may budget kayo, mag ZBrush kayo. It's actually mas maganda yung ZBrush. But if you're on a budget, go for Blender. Okay na yun si Blender, no? Maganda na rin yun. So, there we go. That is sculpting sa 3ds Max and Blender. Any questions? Any questions? Are there any questions? Questions? Are there any questions? Guys? Anyone? No? Are there any questions? All clear ba tayo? Are we all clear? Non-question. Medyo nakakalito po, sir, pero panoorin nyo lang po pabalik. Saan ka nalito? Pwede natin i-go back yan. Dyan, no? We can go back at it, no? So, saan ka Bart na nalito? Pero we can easily go back sa displacement, sa sculpting, sa proportional editing. Pwede natin balikan yan. We have a lot of time. Kasi really, tapos na tayo eh. Tapos na tayo sa discussion, guys, no? Tapos na tayo. There's really nothing else left for me to discuss. Aside from, yun nga, activity nyo. So, any questions? Sige. Ask lang ng questions, guys. Okay, sige. Alright, any questions? Other questions? Ganda nito. Tingnan ko nga. Let's try to use this one. Tingnan natin kung anong itsura nito. Okay. Alright. Tingnan ko nga kung anong itsura nito. Kung maganda tingnan. So, habang I'm testing this out, questions, guys. Ask lang ng questions. Wait. Any questions? Any questions? Bakit hindi nyo tinanggap? Teka. Ba't ayaw nyo? Whatever. Ganito na lang. Any questions, guys? I'm accepting questions. Tapos na tayo. So, questions. I'm accepting questions while I'm just doing this thing. Any questions? Yun. There we go. So, any questions, guys? Any questions? Wala na ba? Any questions? Questions? Wala na? Wala na bang questions? None. Okay. So kung wala ng questions, that's basically it, no? Tapos na tayo sa discussions. There's really nothing left for me to discuss, no? This is just for the thumbnail na lang to. Okay. So wala na tayong kailangan i-discuss pa. Let's discuss your activity 8. Let me just unhide ko lang. Skip. Okay, so kindly open yung mga ano nyo, itong ano natin, yung mga files natin dito, and let's discuss our activity 8. No, itong conform tools, wala na yan, no? Hindi na important yan actually. Sobrang ano na to, luma na yan, no? So, let's discuss your activity 8, no? So, activity 8 is your sandbox. So, your sandbox, download nyo lang yung file. So, yes, meron na ulit kayong bagong file na kailangan download ulit. Yun yung gagamitin nyo. Basically, ang kailangan nyo na lang gawin is props, no? Environments. Construct your own sandbox world using the base model in the file. Model your own assets to construct your environment, frame an angle, and render it using the resolution of your own choosing. Submit your activity with the file name, surname _ act8 rrd. Paki-download na lang. So, there we go. That is your activity 8. Kailan ang deadline? Until the end of the term. So, there we go. There is your activity 8. That is your final activity. So, there we go. Yun na yun. So, kindly open na yan, yung mga ano nyo, activity nyo. Actually, itong activity na to guys, super dali lang to. No? Napakadaling gawin lang to. No? So, like I said, tapusin na kung ano yung pwedeng matapos within the day or kung ano yung bago kayo mag-start ng ano nyo, ng finals nyo, tapusin na kung ano yung kailangan tapusin. No? So, environmental design ang activity 8. Okay? So, are we clear on that? Are we clear on that? Is no one gonna start doing activity 8? Napakadali lang nito, I promise you. So, any questions? Any questions? Clear naman, clear naman. Okay. So, sige. I'm going to change my mind. Hindi na to at the end of the term. Since yun nga, like I said, madali lang to. Para guaranteed na may magpapasa. Due na yan later tonight. No? Due na to later tonight, activity 8. So, yan na. Konting change ako doon. Pag-uwi na natin, due na yan later tonight. Okay? Are we clear on that? Are we clear? Clear na? Change deadline instead of the end of the term until the end of tonight. No? 11:59 PM. Lalagay ko pa lang yung Dropbox mamaya. So, gawin na kung ano yung pwedeng magawa ngayon. Okay? Open na to sa ano? Saan ba yun? Sa Big Sky, no? Nandito na sa Big Sky na. Nasa Big Sky na yon. Nasa week 9, Freeform modeling. Okay? Are we clear? Are we clear na? Wala na? Wala nang tanong? Any questions? Wala? Questions, guys? Wala ba? Are there any questions? Okay, none. Clear na. Okay, let's discuss your finals briefing. So, stop ko lang